and this rain just marches its way eastwards towards Wembley later on in the evening.
More than 250 flood warnings are in place tonight.
As torrential rain and high winds sweep the country.
The countryside is absolutely sodden.
A second weekend of prolonged heavy rain has brought flooding in areas across the country. Flood.
We've got some very heavy rain.
So, Tom's fucked it, hasn't he?
Oh, he's goofed it.
Proper goofed it.
It's rough. It's a rough one, you know?
Tommy Wet Boy. Welcome to the 33% Majority. This is a talk show where you'll find two friends?
Just the two of us, baby.
Sharing amicably their some minutes of fame, because one of the hosts is underwater.
He does not live in a yellow submarine, but it would be nice if he did.
Some of you may have seen in the news that London did a bad job of making water be not in people's houses, and Tommy's house was the victim of a water in it.
Suddenly, it was wetter than it should have been, in more than an atmospheric way. It was wet.
Unfortunately, one of the secret ingredients in the water that was in Tommy's house was poo. So all of his things have got poo in them as well.
And before any of you say it, it wasn't me.
I can vouch for Ashley. I was with Ashley at the time, and he was not pooing inside of Thomas's PlayStation 4.
Didn't do any big poos in that front room, kitchen, hallway. I thought it was just Tom's place. I thought it was like a water thing that had just gone. What actually was it?
Yeah, he made it sound like it was a water mains just outside of his flat, and he was the only one that was affected.
Yeah, I was like, that's bad design, surely.
So for listeners, we can give away some Tommy personal info now that he doesn't live there anymore because the property is uninhabitable because of all of the poo that's inside of it. Tommy lives in Maida Vale, or he did, in London, and his flat started on the ground floor, and there were stairs down underground to his kitchen and living room and things like that. And what I think happened was lots of rain happened in not enough time for that rain to have somewhere to go.
The rain per hour, too high, too fast.
The rains per hour, which is a metric. The weather boys, they will tell you this. The rains per hour were too much, and they sought refuge inside of the downstairs portion of Tommy's abode.
If you're cold, they're cold. Let them in, you know? It's probably too soon to be making these kind of jokes.
No. You've had loads of jokes about this. Have you got any prepared?
Listeners, we're sorry about this week. Tom's house is cosplaying the Titanic.
There we go.
I said like the day after it happened, and immediately privately messaged Tom and was like, "Hey man, I'm really fucking. Am I cool to make a joke?"
Guys, I've muted Ash now on the WhatsApp call, so he can't hear me now. But Tom actually rang me after that crying because he lost a lot of sentimental things in that flat when it flooded. So when Ashley said the horrible thing about the Titanic, it made him cry. And then when the tears came out, the flashbacks of the flood from when the poo water came inside of the house and got inside of his PlayStation 4 and his television.
Tom's going to swiftly become like, you know when it's fireworks and there's like a Labrador and they're like, oh shit, it's fucking, it's explosions and death. It'll be Tom, but every time it rains, we'll have to like put a blanket over him.
You've got to give him a good cuddle, give him lots of support. But to kind of put any worries to rest, dearest listeners, it was just Tom and the two dogs in the flat when everything happened. They all got out fine. All of the people, all of the living things are fine. It's just some stuff that he's lost. Unfortunately, irreplaceable. But everybody everybody is fine. So really, all we need from you guys is, firstly, to forgive us for this episode that's going to be bad, because this is a format that works so well with three people, because one person says a joke, the other person lines up the next sentence to say, and the third person laughs. Now it's just two people, and it's going to be bad.
Guys.
So that's what we need you to forgive us for that, and we also need any donations. Money preferred. Tommy is in dire need of some Trillo bucks.
I would like a sports bike of some variety.
No, Ashley, you've got to Actually, you've got to flood your house first before you can start making requests.
I live on a hill. This is awful. This is literally the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
If we can all pool resources and buy Tommy 2 sports bikes just to rub it in to Ashley.
Now I'm the problem, and the flood is... that's my intent the whole time. It's actually a really wholesome manoeuvre.
To get Tommy 2 sports bikes, so the next time there's a flood, he can evade it.
Yeah. We need to get him ones with sidecars, though. He's got dogs.
He'll need 2 sidecars either side, and I think if you're making it that wide, you're probably going to want a roof and doors so you can get in either side. And with it being that wide, you're going to have like balance issues, I think. So maybe some extra wheels.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe it could have like it could have 4 seats, because then he can take his dogs.
Oh, that's a good idea. And you could use it to like carry things around. Carry's too long. Car. You could call it a car, and he could just transport everything around.
And people would think you were a pirate. Car.
In other news, I passed my driving test after 7 years of trying and 5 failed attempts. How's that? That's good news, isn't it?
So proud. So proud. You picked me up from work. It was magnificent.
I did. I'm very proud of myself.
You look so good in that car.
Don't
It's a Bugatti Veyron.
No. No, because then they'll question why I'm not being benevolent and philanthropic with Tommy's.
What's that car going to do in the flood, Alex? Like, you can't get there to help. It's flooded. The water's more than an inch deep.
Yeah, true.
Also, driving through London's expensive, so...
Yeah, it is, actually. Tell you what, Tom's not here. We can talk about motorbikes and cars the entire episode. We can just talk about things that we like to talk about. This is brilliant. So, here's a thing, Ashley, that will interest you. I always thought motorcycles were very economical. You know, just one person on one vehicle that is only as wide as that person is. It just, logically, it made sense to me.
Of course.
Turns out, my motorcycle pollutes more, drinks more fuel, is more expensive to tax, more expensive to insure than my car, which is made of lots more metal, has many more tyres touching the floor, has more mass to lug around. Why is the car, like, substantially cheaper?
Is this a paperwork thing, or is this legitimate? Because I've always thought bikes are greener than cars. That's always been my thought.
Yeah, you'd think so, because it's like, my bike, it's got a 650cc engine at a 0.65 litre, and it's only got to carry around itself and me.
Which is not a great deal compared to like a whole steel chassis.
Yeah, compared to the Vauxhall Corsa that it's up against.
Think about how heavy just a car's gearbox is compared to a bike gearbox. Like, think about the difference in weight, and then think about how that's got a fuck-up efficiency. Like, but it obviously doesn't.
It's weird. It's blown my mind that, like, my bike gets 35 miles per gallon and the car gets 45. That's substantial. That adds up.
That's a fair difference.
Much slower.
But then you go into low power motorcycles. 125s are incredibly efficient.
No, that is true. Like a little single cylinder, 125cc. 8 pounds of fuel, that'll do you 6,000 miles.
Honestly, I've topped up. I can count the times I've topped up 125s on probably like my hands and toes, and I've done thousands of miles on them.
I used to schedule filling up with petrol with my oil changes.
If you did that with a car, that'd swiftly become a real pain in the ass.
No, I think my issues with 125s is that I never paid any attention to the amount of oil that was in them.
You've blown up more mopeds and bikes than anyone else I know.
Yeah, how many have I done? So I bought a moped because it was very, very cheap, and on its maiden voyage, swiftly found out that the previous owner had taken all of the oil out of it and hadn't told me. And don't get me wrong, I didn't check, but I wasn't informed. So that one exploded about 10 miles into the journey, which I was surprised it lasted that long.
Phenomenal.
I blew up a Yamaha YBR 125.
Which is impressive in and of itself.
All of the oil came out of it and went onto my shoe, and I found out that it wasn't working right because of the burning. So that was good. Yeah, I blew that up. I think I blew that one up twice, actually. And then I bought a brand spanking new from showroom Honda CBR 125R, famed for their vicious reliability. And I blew that one up 4 times. That's a gorgeous bike, though. For a 125, that's one of the best looking 125s. It's not bad. It's not bad. That and, like, home-built calf races. Here's a question. Far away. Are we alienating our listeners yet, or can we go further?
Listeners, how do you feel about talking about like timings in engines and how cool that is?
Okay, Ashley, how do you feel about that? Just explain that in gory detail for everybody, please.
I am not going to do that. Because I don't know, baby.
I thought that might be the case, Ashley.
I'm trying. Well, we could go further. What do you know about fuel to air efficiency, running rich and running lean? Because I know that because carbs is all I know. Stoichiometric volt. No, what is it? Stoichiometric level. That's the ratio of air to fuel. Is it? That's a hot stoichiometric.
Stoichiometric.
Well, metric is obviously measure. What the fuck is a stoichio when it's at home? That's not
well,
its maiden name. You wouldn't shout that to people coming down for dinner.
You've got to break it down. So the first bit is ST.
So it's Ford.
No, it's Saint, actually. Saint.
Oik. Saint Oik.
Saint Oik. Bit of a yobbo. Can't be trusted. EO. We all know what EO is. Ash, take us away.
It's Old MacDonald.
Old MacDonald. There we go. So it's Saint.
EI.
Saint.
Oh, it's not even EO. It's EI.
Saint Yobbo Farmer. Metric. And then a word that maybe value, balance, measure, stoichiometric, something.
Or is it spelt like stoic? So is it just like quiet and tough?
Yeah, it is. It is. Don't get me wrong. I may be saying it wrong. And morally, I have an obligation to let you know about that.
Is it morally or is it morally? You guys always call me out on that.
It is morally, and then we say morally just to
for me.
Remind you. Yeah.
This is like telling somebody there are no trains in Australia and then believing it for years and then going to Australia and there being trains. Now you guys are going along with it. I'm going to start arguing for it when people call me out.
What was that reference? Was that something from your own personal experience? What was that?
No, somebody told me a story about how their dad had told their mum all their life. Their dad was Australian. It's like, oh, there's no trains in Australia whatsoever. Like, there's just none.
Trains are like the backbone of Australian logistics, aren't they?
Yeah, but this guy's mum obviously didn't know that.
My dad used to tell me that there were little animals in Scotland called haggises that had legs shorter on the right-hand side than the left-hand side, and they just used to run around in very small circles at the top of mountains.
I wonder if that's a real thing. Listen, people believe in the Yeti. If we can just start a haggis movement, we just have to do a few sightings in Scotland, which, by the way, the train fare to Scotland is £300.
I believe in the Yeti. The Blue Yeti.
That's my microphone.
This episode sponsored by Blue Microphones. No, it's not. Yours is the Snowball. Mine's the Yeti.
Oh, is the Yeti the tall boy?
Tall. The Yeti is the dildo looking one.
I don't own one of those. I own a dildo. I don't own... I threw myself out there where I was like, I don't want to deny that. Because I'm like, guys, sexual health. Let's talk about it. No, let's not.
Let's talk about doing dildos to yourself. Just me and you, Ashley. We will just encourage all of our listeners to do dildos to themselves.
Guys, if you can, you should. No, I'm joking. If you have orifices.
No, I think we need let's make an advertising campaign. You have orifices. Fill them up with stuff.
How do we make dildos mainstream?
Step 1, give people a reason. And then, and now look, they've already done it. And they're doing it now. No! Stop the podcast first.
Oh God! Oh, my next door neighbor, he's kicked down the door. Hey, he's got latex in his hand.
Latex in his hand?
I was trying to think of body safe silicone. Is what I should have said there, guys. You want body safe silicone. Don't put anything inside yourself unless it's body safe.
Or a person.
Or a person of your choosing.
You can put a person in there, can't you?
Not like a whole one. It's not like a scuba suit deal.
Tell that to pregnant people.
Submarines. If a lady goes swimming and she's pregnant, she's a submarine.
If a pregnant woman went over to Tom's house, they would be a submarine.
They would be a submarine. It's a tiny human being shipped about, being supplied air.
Please get out of there. There's so much poo in it. There's so much poo in Tom's indoor swimming pool.
There's too much poo.
No, it's 90% feces.
Oh, it's time for a throwback. Shitman returns. This is Shitman's revenge on Tom.
Oh my God. Wow.
Oh my God, I'm going to message Tom right now.
We really are here. Get him on the phone.
I'll call him. I'm going to call Tom. Oh, I can't. I'm using my phone to talk to you.
Quick, let's go over to the 33% majority.
Yeah,
group
can we
chat.
do that? Is that a thing we can do? Is Tom, can you take a call? Listeners, if he says no, I want you all to know it's because he hates you.
He's just said in the chat that he's just viewed a flat. That was 4 minutes ago.
Viewed is past tense, isn't it? I'm ready.
Yes. It doesn't say I am actively viewing a flat. It says I have done.
I have to ask you a question. I've forgotten why we're calling him. I'm to make a joke, aren't I?
I've said urgent, just to let him know that, we're not messing around. We're trying to keep the brand alive here. On behalf... This is usually 3 men's job, right? And now it is 2 inferior boys. Tommy needs to be available at our every beck and call. And if we're floundering for a thing to say next, that is urgent. Tommy's not even replying, which means I probably need to cut this whole bit from the episode, because how anticlimactic. Has anybody got Tim's number?
Well, no, what you do is you now edit in the do, and then we do a voicemail that makes Tom sound like a bad person.
I can probably cut something together from all of the previous episodes. I've got lots of source material for Tom.
Alex, if you do that, I will kiss your face. I will listen to every episode at work. No, this weekend, in fact, to find you the right sentences for us to make Tom say something. What's the best thing we can make him say?
I am fucking me prostate. Oh dear. I've come. Yeah. Amazing. Hey, Helen.
Well, now we just need to react to the heinous things Tommy's just said.
Tom, that's vile. It's 2021. I can't believe you still have that views. This is not minus 2000 AD.
Wow, Tom, it's 2021, and I'm so proud of you for still having those views, those tyrannically racist views. I'm so proud of you, and I support you in this movement.
Wait, Alex, stop. Tom's replied.
Oh, goodness. While we wait for Thomas, if you can all head over to www.gofundme.com/Tommy's flat is full of poo. It got inside of his PlayStation and inside of all of his precious memories, comic books, and stories. And now he needs Trillo bucks in order to replace all of it. /home. And donate anything you can. If you've just been paid, please donate. If you've got rent due tomorrow, perfect. That means you have rent money now that you can give to Tom instead.
If you've got any organs that you don't particularly care about, just cut those out.
And send them to Tom. He'll make do. He'll find something to do with them. He'll make them. He'll turn them into an art and then sell the art.
Tom.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, struggling in both the heat and the lack of a house is difficult.
We've already spoken at length about how your house is full of poo, don't worry.
Poo water is abundant. Mm-hmm.
Are you doing okay, Tommy?
Physically, yeah, fine. Mentally, drained, tired, confused as to why I'm not more torn up about the loss of everything I own. Aware that will probably hit me quite soon.
Yeah.
Staying in a hotel with both my partner and 2 dogs confined to one room, difficult.
Yeah. We've already asked the listeners for all of the Trillo bucks they can spare, any organs or rent money, all of that sort of stuff. So don't worry. I'm sure the donations will start flooding in very shortly.
Flooding in, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoops.
That was not very punk rock.
I did do a mistake with that one. I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. The puns are accepted. If anybody wants to set up a GoFundMe or just give
I've just dropped the link.
Also...
I've just dropped the link for the GoFundMe. Don't worry.
Wonderful.
That we've also started a petition to get you 2 sports bikes.
Oh well, that. Thanks. I appreciate that. I guess.
Tom.
I assume that the 2 sports bikes are really for the 2 of you, and it's insurance fraud. But yeah.
Tom, I have a confession.
Go on, confess, child.
We did a bad episode for you.
Okay, what is just no substance at all? Or?
No, it's happening now. It's happening. We're doing it, and it's not.
Okay.
It's bad. The one that we're doing.
It's not great. It's not my finest comedy.
Is it the lack of the final 33% of us that's letting the team down?
Yeah, pretty
No,
much.
you're not letting the team down at all.
No, you are. Don't
Okay.
don't let
Oh,
Ashley
yeah,
be
you are,
kind.
that's fair. Well, when Tom listens to this, he's going to hear all the horrible jokes I've made, and then I'm going to feel bad. So now I'm coming back in.
I feel like horrible and wonderful are interchangeable in this scenario because I'm really not sure what to make of it. So, I'll enjoy it nonetheless.
You're a sweetheart. The sweetest heart.
The sweetest 33% of us, yes.
Shall we round off the bad episode, all three of us together?
Yeah, I've got time now. Why not?
Perfect. Just say something nice and fun. Funny. Do a funny one, Tommy, because we've not been funny all episode. Say a joke.
Quick, Tom, do a comedy.
I haven't got the comedy monolith in front of me. The lack of my microphone is really difficult. Balls? Is there anything there?
No, that was really
Balls
really
are
good.
Funny.
Cool.
Sorry that you've had to listen to this one, everybody. Thanks anyway. Head over to the Instagram to see images and videos of the destruction that has befallen Tommy. Any good jokes, just throw those in the comments, or put them in a direct message direct to Tom, because that'll hurt the most.
We accept comedy in the form of sternly worded emails.
Yeah.
Letters.
I would say though that although I'll appreciate the comedy, pound sterling at this moment in time would be greatly appreciated.
Trillo bucks. Any quantity of Trillo bucks you folk can muster. Just
I will accept.
Put
any
them.
Any currency, I can convert it. It's fine. It's all good.
Bitcoin preferred.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Let's go virtual.
Lovely. Just put it in an envelope, put it in a letterbox, and just send it. You don't need the address. It'll get here.
But anyway, I've not been your host, Tom Hutchinson. Love you lots.
I also haven't been your host, Alex Springthorpe.
I've barely been present, Ashley Hall.
See you next week.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.